guys, and welcome to another episode of Woke by Accident podcast, a weekly chat about socially conscious topics impacting the culture. I'm Jen. Welcome. We have our co host, Simbaza, host and creator of the Simbaza podcast, who is from the Republic of Kenya. He has established himself as a distinguished figure in the podcasting community. His work has been recognized by the Best African Diasporan Podcast Awards, along with Texas Creator Awards and the 2026 Podfest and Afros Audio Podcast Festival. Welcome, Simbaza.
Hey Jen, what's up? How you doing today?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Good to see you there.
Good to see you too. What's crack lacking?
Yeah, so have a great show for you guys today. Thank you for joining us. We do have a guest as well, so we're super thrilled. Simbaza,
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for
How was your week?
asking. Yeah, pretty
I know
good.
we're doing a show in another day, so that's why I have to ask you how you doing. You
No,
can't just rush.
looking forward
Wait,
to the
oh,
weekend.
wait,
I actually have a lot of events planned. Busy, doing all the things, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. How's it going
oh,
over there?
Dallas is fine. We just had rain and what have you, but it's been a great week as well as I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Yep, and a great show too today on Thursday.
Yes, we are. And thank you guys for joining us. And you have arranged for the other platforms, is that right?
Yes, we are on Substack, YouTube, Facebook, and Clubhouse. Wherever you are
Okay.
able to catch us on, hey, just join us, and we'll be happy to have you. And we know you took your time, and we're grateful that you have joined us, whether it's now or after the recording is played.
Awesome. And we appreciate everyone tuning in on additional platforms. The audio episode will be coming soon. And we do have a great guest. The title of this episode is When Power, Love, and Violence Collide. And we do have a special guest that we'll introduce shortly, along with our topic. How about an affirmation?
Oh yes, the affirmation of the day or of this week is going to be: I am a great friend, and make others feel loved too. I am a great friend, and make others feel loved too.
Okay, thank you for sharing the affirmation. We definitely try to encourage and promote positive mental health behaviors, and we definitely want to share affirmations. So we received that on today. Let's introduce our topic. So today's topic is a heavy one, but an important one. We're talking about the tragic and untimely deaths of three women whose lives impacted many: Dr. Cerina Fairfax, Nancy Metayer Bowen, and Ashlee Jenae, along with a few other cases. Each of these women were accomplished, visible, deeply connected to their communities, yet their stories intersect around something we don't talk about enough: domestic violence and the vulnerability that can exist behind closed doors, even at the highest levels. So, that is our topic. We do have a guest that will join us in this conversation. I definitely wanted to make sure that we had a licensed expert to join us in this conversation. She's has been here before too. Before we introduce the guest, any thoughts about our topic, Sabaza, to share?
It's a topic that is deep and has come into play over the last couple of weeks. And what do you have the number that we call? I don't know. I may have to do a search on it, but we wanted to acknowledge that and say if anyone who is feeling like they're in trouble or they suspect that things are going wrong, just call 911, or you can call for help.
988? Yes,
There's 988 and there's 911. It's
correct.
because sometimes the things are at that point where it's trouble.
Uh-huh.
So either way, there's always help around the corner, and we'll get those numbers and pass them along as we go through the show. But yeah, I am ready for the show, and like I said, I think maybe when we have our therapist online, we can have a moment of silence to acknowledge whatever has happened.
Absolutely. So at this time, we'll introduce our guests. So today we have the privilege of speaking with a licensed mental health counselor and the owner of Grow, Empower, Transform Therapy LLC. She brings a wealth of experience and deep commitment to mental health, specializing in critical areas such as domestic violence, coping skills, and grief. Through her practice, she has touched the lives of many, guiding individuals through some of life's most challenging moments. And we welcome back to the show Miss Denise D. Moore.
Hi. How you doing, everybody? Thank you for having me back again. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Welcome.
And Simbaza, we have been having so much sunshine over here in Florida. Please keep the rain over there. Thank you.
I
Um,
need the sunshine. I need the rain actually because my grass looks bad.
oh yeah. Well, keep the
Yeah,
rain.
yeah.
Keep the rain. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Yes, welcome back. It's so good to see you. And thank you for um, including some flexibility in your schedule
Mhm.
to, have this discussion with us. You've joined us before in a conversation about
Yes.
domestic violence, but in
Mhm.
light of these events in the news, we've been seeing so many events of violence involving domestic relationships that I just feel like let's have a conversation with a licensed counselor and just, talk about what we're feeling and some definitions of what has been going on. I know people have a lot of feelings about this.
Absolutely, absolutely. So a lot of us are now feeling we're all grieving.
Mhm.
We're all
Okay,
grieving. Yes.
before before we get there and start, um, let's start with our proverb because I have
Oh
moved around.
yes.
I've just
Okay.
landed. I did travel to Madagascar. Sorry to cut you short, but I did travel to Madagascar, and I'm so wanting to talk about this.
So you actually went to Madagascar.
I
Nah,
did
me,
go to
I'm really serious. We gotta talk about that.
And
Okay.
so on my travel, I want to talk about it just a little bit, and then we'll start the
Yes.
show. Kind of let's fly a little bit and then land because it's going to be a really
Gotcha.
heavy show.
Yeah.
This is an island lying off of the southeastern coast of Africa in the Indian Ocean. It
Hmm.
includes the island of Madagascar, and there are other countries. We just other islands, but you just call it
Yeah.
Madagascar. It's one of the fourth largest island in the world. Baobabs are the ones that are the most in the world, and only nine species are endemic to Madagascar. Endemic means that you can only find them there, not anywhere else. And also the
Mm.
bird species and animal species. Yeah.
Mm.
They have a pirate history. In the 17th century, Madagascar was a hotspot for pirates expelled from the Caribbean. So they'll be hanging out there waiting on you.
Oh.
As for the food, man, they have rice as their base of for nearly every meal in Madagascar, and they eat zebu meat. Zebu is a cow. I think it's a hump. It has a huge hump, and it's often braised and it's heavily featured in their cuisine. So the proverb for the day says, "Don't be so much in love that you can't tell when it's raining." The proverb says again, "Don't be so much in love that you cannot tell when it's raining." So, Denise,
Oh.
can you interpret that proverb for us, or what you might
Man.
think it is?
Oh,
Yeah.
please pay attention. Take off those rose-colored glasses. You so in love you can't even feel you getting wet. It's probably storming outside. The it's coming like you get you somewhere
Right.
safe. Pay
Right.
attention to everything, please. Please and thank you.
And Jen?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And there's sometimes when people, especially when maybe a relationship is new, that other person is your world, and you feel like, kind of have blinders on, but maybe those blinders, don't need to be so heavy, and you should still spend time with other friends and family members, and don't let that person be your everything. I personally, I am married, but my husband is not my everything. I do things, I volunteer, I'm a part of
Hmm.
organizations, I mentor, I spend time with my friends and family, and then
Hmm.
I have my relationship that I cherish. But I feel like your other half doesn't have to be your everything, and so
Hmm.
that's something to consider in being in relationships.
Absolutely.
I
Well
think
said.
y'all are right with that, and
Hmm.
I appreciate that because all of you are saying it's a cautionary tale to know who we are first, to
Mm-hmm.
understand who we are, and not to forget that we're not autonomous. We are human flesh. We human as in terms of flesh or being. We have to kind of mix with others. We can never stay on our own. We always need each other.
Mm-hmm.
So
Community.
cutting us yourself off from the rest of the world does not help. Now it doesn't mean that it's in love, or it may be even in work relationships, or in the way you do things with yourself, or you figure out your things in your mind. Remember, you have other people. You can ask for advice, you can ask for help, you can ask for anything. You cannot just make decisions on your own. Great way to start our
Mm-hmm.
time here. And Denise, now I'll give you the floor or the mic, and you can start by giving us the examples as you start, and probably but probably give us a day in your life, and then
Mm-hmm.
so part of what you do, and then
Yeah.
some examples of what the interpretations of what we're going to talk about.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I am a mental health counselor here in the great state of Florida, where it's been sunshining. So please don't send the rain again over here. And I'm also a qualified supervisor. So it really depends on my day. So I'm able to get up, and I was able to go to the gym today, and other appointments that I had to take care of. And then was able to see some clients and work with some clients. So some clients I work with, they're either um, overcoming being in an abusive or traumatic relationship, or they have some anxiety or some depression that's happening, or some type of either relationship issues. I work with men, so we talk about men issues and women issues as well. And so I can either have my sessions either in person if that's what they want, or virtually. And so we get in there and we begin to do the work. And I'm glad you started with an affirmation, Simbaza, because a lot of individuals think so negatively about themselves that they can't even, fathom stating an affirmation without crying
Mm.
in the beginning, until they believe it. So, thank you for always starting with the affirmation. And so, a couple of definitions I wanted to share
Mhm.
on this topic. So, domestic violence and intimate partner violence. So domestic violence is when violence happens within the household. So if we all live together and we were family, and I hurt Jenna, me and Jenna are sisters, we call the police, that's a domestic violence incident.
Mhm.
And same with, you, Sambaza. However, when we are with our intimate partners and a domestic violence incident happened, that's intimate partner violence.
Okay.
So because when I see these stories in the news and they're on social media, it is domestic violence, yes.
Mhm.
But just because you have domestic violence doesn't mean intimate partner violence was happening. It doesn't mean that the husband and wife, mother and father, or the partners were in an abusive or traumatic relationship.
Okay.
It doesn't always mean that. Sometimes people will lose control and snap and will have a reaction and won't think about it otherwise. And sometimes it is premeditated, where there's abuse with men against the woman, or the woman against the man, and violence happens. So
Mhm.
I just want everyone to know that there's absolutely a difference between domestic violence and intimate partner violence, because some people think it's the same,
Okay. Yes.
and that's not always the case.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And I have some statistics here that we'll go over. First of all, before we get there, I want to
Mm-hmm.
say welcome to the show, Brother Ed. Nice to
Hey.
have you. And anyone else who's tuned in, some people are tuned in, but they're a bit quiet. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
show themselves up. And they say, thanks for breaking it down such an eloquent and clear way.
Oh
Ooh,
yes,
there we go.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
one.
Because yeah, we don't always understand that, and so we just want to. And just because a domestic violence incident happened doesn't mean that the individual had a mental illness.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of coverage with that
Mm-hmm.
focus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's an interesting point to bring up.
Yeah, and just to mention, in Kenya they call it GBV, gender-based violence.
Mm.
That's the term that they use. Yeah. So here are the statistics that we're going to go through as as we are starting off the other part of the show. Black women and domestic violence in the U.S. These were cited a while ago. However, they
Mhm.
may have changed or may have gone down or up. But this is the way we found out. More than 40% of Black women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. About 45.1% of Black women have experienced intimate partner physical violence, sexual violence, and stalking in their lifetimes. Black women are 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than white women. More than half of Black adult female homicides. Okay, let me start again. More than half of the Black adult female homicides are related to intimate partner violence. In one report, 53.8 of Black women had experienced psychological abuse, and 41.2% had experienced physical abuse. Um, Black women also face high rates of fear, stigma, and barriers to reporting abuse, including distrust of law enforcement and social services. What this means, we'll talk about that. But in CDC analysis in 2018 to 2021, that's where they say Black women made up about 13.4% of the US population, but accounted for 29.9% of the intimate partner homicide victims. So that's quite a
It
great
is.
study to look into.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
is. That's heavy. That's a lot.
Mm,
That's a lot for a small population in the United States.
right.
A lot. And I think you mentioned some of the stigma behind it as well,
Mhm.
and with the distrust in law enforcement and social services, because the Justice Department is not always on our side and could be exaggerated. And it's not. Do you know how difficult it is to get an injunction against somebody?
It's a lot of
It's,
paperwork,
it's a
right?
lot of paperwork. It's very difficult. You have to write it out by hand. There's no like, computer typing,
Mhm.
and it's a lot. And it's like you're already fearful. You're not sure if the person is going to be there waiting for you. As it happened, I think it was last year, a similar incident happened where the lady, I think they got divorced in court same day, and I think she asked the bailiff to walk her to her car because she was scared, either the divorce or an injunction. Left the courtroom, he murdered her, gone.
Mm.
And she did ask for help and did ask for assistance, and she's no longer here because he was right outside of the courthouse waiting for her. She's no longer here.
Wow.
So, going through that process is very difficult. It's not always easy, especially if you don't have help or know how to get the help. And then
Mhm.
you have to be there at a certain time. And trying to depend on individuals to help you with it, or like family or close friends, sometimes the judgment comes out. You don't always get the support.
Mhm.
And so this is one of the crimes that people will internalize against themselves, and people will always there's a lot of judgment out there.
Okay.
So Domestic Violence Awareness Month is in October,
Mhm.
same as Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Mhm.
And so we always hear a lot about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but we don't hear enough about Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Definitely. Right.
Yeah, in the same month. So it's definitely a little bit difficult. It's embarrassing. The stigma is it's your fault, and America loves to victim blame.
Definitely. I know we've talked about this the last time you were with us,
Hmm.
but a question that some people may be asking
Hmm.
themselves, or people in their circle hearing these news stories that we'll kind of talk about a little bit. I don't want to get too heavy into the cases, but I do have some visuals that I want to share, and I do want to, say the names of the individuals who lost their lives, and take a moment at some point in the show. But are there warning signs that, from your, professional expertise, that friends and family can look for or possibly overlook when, regarding interpersonal relationships that may lead to a domestic violence situation?
Yes. So, something to know. One, we have to be educated,
Mhm.
and we're not always educated. And sometimes the abuser will want to spend a lot of time with you, had, you know, because we're going to be a family. I just want to spend time with you. You're always with your family and your friends. Why can't it just be me and you? Oh, I want to take you away. Let's go somewhere else and do something together. And it's great because when you're in a new romantic relationships, you want to spend time with one another. You want to get to know one another intimately. You want to go out on dates, you know, and do all of the things. And so that is something that's often overlooked because you're getting to know one another and you want to spend time. Um, Sometimes the individuals will joke about some things that is very uncomfortable to you because they want to see, you know, if they can go ahead and cross the boundaries.
Mm,
A lot of times there's little manipulation that's happening or gaslighting,
mhm,
bullying can take place, such as, I mean, you were so smart. I thought you were smart, but you're kind of dumb, and they'll say it in a way to make you believe that you're doing something wrong, and then you really start to go ahead and believe that.
mhm,
And it's just looking at these individuals. If you have some of these individuals in your family that are the abuser, hold them accountable.
mhm,
Don't protect them. Pull them to the side and really have a conversation with them. A lot of times they like to, like somebody said earlier, isolate themselves.
mhm.
When you isolate yourself, you're
Mm.
not in a community and people can't see or check you or hold you accountable. So it's great to always be around other people in the community. So we'll overlook red flags a lot of times because we don't know what they are.
Mhm,
Or if we do know what they are and we come in and tell you, we may get cussed out because we might be jealous of your relationship.
mhm.
Because, you know, I don't want to believe it or I don't want to see it because I'm in love and it's raining. I can't see the rain, but I'm in love.
Right.
Understand some things. So I think a lot of times the red flags get overlooked because we're not educated to know
Mhm.
what to look for. And then we don't always know how to deliver it in a way the other person can receive it.
I just had a thought when you were
Mhm.
sharing about the examples of those types of behaviors, like manipulation, gaslighting, and things like that. There was a recent documentary that
Okay.
I saw on the DC sniper's wife. So
Mm-hmm.
there's been a lot of like movie dramatizations of his story and things,
Mm-hmm.
but this actually just focused on her story and what she went through, like leading up and, before the events happened, because she was in a domestic violence relationship with this man, and like, these odd behavior, and it just kind of escalated. She mentioned having a favorite green dress. This is before the events that was all over the news happened, just like dealings with him and her relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she went looking for this dress. She always talked about, oh, this is my favorite dress, where he knew that this was her favorite dress, and then all of a sudden it comes up missing, and she asked him, have you seen it? And he, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she finds it like ripped up and cut up and
Cut
torn
up.
up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, who did it? The kids didn't do it, the dog didn't do it. He, and it's like, that's that type of behavior that you're talking about, right?
Correct. Correct. So now I'm being punished for something I'm not sure what I did.
Hmm.
And so a lot of times it'll start with little things like that, and then they'll come and apologize and bring flowers, etc. It's that power
Hmm.
and control,
Yes.
and because it's not always physical.
Right.
So it starts
Right.
out like really, really small little things to just wear you down. And
Hmm.
if we're not educating your family members about what to look for, or our children or the young people, no one knows what to look for until it's too late.
Right. That's
Mhm.
interesting. Yes, Sabaza.
Well, I have a question. This is kind of a question. This When you talked about the lady of, especially when they go to court,
Mm-hmm.
and she went to report the issues, and we know, even here in the U.S., when you talk about getting like a restraining order, that is one of the hardest thing to get. And
Yes.
I've had experience from people telling me about how what they've gone through. Now, do you think like issues? Because to me, coming from outside of the country, I noticed that most people and Kenyans know that when it comes to child support and divorce court, that's where most of these things start coming up, like divorce and
Mm-hmm.
child.
Mm-hmm.
America is more like a matriarchal type of society, especially when it comes to court. very
Mhm.
rare cases where you'll see the man being given the kids, whereas a woman is the one who's being told, you know what, you're going to pay child support, like the reverse. I, I don't want to call it reverse child support,
Mhm.
but it's being put out on the woman, and
Mhm.
at that point, the man gets to be in sort of like in a dark place,
Mhm.
because the woman can do anything. She can hold him accountable to the kids and ask for excessive demands. And I mean, there are cases of people I've heard that would practically lose everything, have nothing to go back home to after the woman goes after
Mhm.
uh, his
Or the
money,
state,
or,
or the
or
state,
yeah, the state
because
actually.
Yeah.
But the way it's calculated and what the judge says, you know, it pretty much you lose a lot. Now, at this part, most of the situations usually cover around that phenomena, and
Mhm.
I think, is that where we have these issues, and is there a way of kind of uh, figuring out how to counteract this issue, whereby families don't get to lose loved ones because of this situation that they're going to. Maybe if you can speak on that.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot like you said, especially when it comes to court and divorce separations. It
Mhm.
is always just, oh, the mother gets the kids. So now what I'm seeing is that it's opposite. The dad's getting the kids, or there's 50-50. I see a lot of
Mhm.
states are moving towards that 50-50. It just makes sense. If you were married for, let's say, 10 years and everyone was in the household, it's a it's a disruption on the child. So why can't the child spend equal time? Why does it always have to go to the mom? And
Mhm.
yes, there are individuals that will fabricate stories and will say that this, like, so many things happen and so many egregious things happen, and that's not true. Just to swing the courts in your favor, and the man is just left with spending a lot of money and court fees, taking time out from work,
Mhm.
and not being able to spend time with the kids. Family is already, so mentally, it's already a mental duress, stress, and a strain that's already happening, and I already feel like I'm just already losing. So it's a lot of times where a lot of men will just give up. Like, I'll just wait until my kid is 18. Don't worry about it. Have it. I'll just pay this, and that's it. So a lot of that happens, and so a lot of times the men will snap or will get upset, either will leave or will become violent because of everything that's happening. And it's not many individuals that will come to his aid. I know sometimes, not sometimes, like a majority of the time in this country, men aren't allowed to speak or share their feelings.
Mhm.
So you don't have a community or support to always go to, unless other men know exactly what you're going through and can come and rally around you and give you some support in that situation. But it's a hard situation. It's sad, and ultimately, the kid is the one that is really feeling the effects of it. Now, a lot of times when there is intimate partner violence within a relationship, um, no one, the woman is not pressing charges or saying anything because of the stigma that goes against it, the support that may or may not be there, from family and friends, because you're isolated from them. You
Mhm.
don't have friends,
Mhm.
you're not close to the family anymore, because that's the goal, to get you by yourself. So it's difficult in that sense too, to prove that some things were happening. But why didn't you ever report it? Because that's my husband, and I love
Mhm.
him. I want to keep the family together. I didn't want to move the home and the police come and want to die, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a couple of things that happens there, but it's a lot of times that those things come out during those times.
I just hate that idea of that the woman is punished for the court decision because that's not the woman's call, and sometimes the state can pursue, a
Yes,
child support
yes.
case. So
Mm-hmm.
is the
Yes.
punishment on the woman for something like that? And I just feel like, a lot of men are saying somebody's just like, oh, yeah, the court system,
Mm-hmm.
and just I hate that, but I guess we're seeing that narrative, being shared that, oh, he was going through, a divorce or a custody battle or something like that was in the background.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
for me, the
Mm-hmm.
men that I worked with, if there was anything that they would want, or they would have a problem with, is when they hear, oh man, they got this new job, and then they hear, oh, the wife now is going to go, or the ex-wife or the girlfriend, that the baby mama that they had is going to go back to court and request a review so that she gets more money because the guy has gotten, a job and
Mm-hmm.
has got a raise. You got this new job. And that was a conversation that men were talking about, and they were like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
um, Now, some of them even said there was a time, the woman says, you know what? Oh, now you got a job, more money. Okay, cool. I'm going to come after it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
some of, and I don't know if it was immaturity at that time, on the part of the girls that they were dealing with, or it happens. Maybe it's a different stage in life. Maybe even it happens in a different age group or age bracket. It may be different ways that it could be done. However, that situation of having to go for a review, it's stemming from just the fact that I've gotten a new job, or I'm seeing that you seem to be doing well, so I'm trying to get more. You see,
And
even when
this is a justification of what?
No.
justification that they're doing their part, it's 50-50. They're doing their part, right? And they're helping out. Then they say on the background that, oh, now you see you've gotten a job, we're going to go do a review, whereby sometimes the man is like, you know what, I'm here, I'm going to provide more. You see, so that's where I'm coming from.
So instead of him being able to go ahead and provide more on his own, you're going to go to the court and see if we can get more money.
Right.
So here in Florida, no, I hear what you're saying, because sometimes it depends on how many children you have and how much comes
Mhm,
out
mhm,
comes out of your check, if you're able to live and survive off of whatever's left over and stuff like that. And some
mhm.
people do go ahead and request that review. Here in Florida, they look at both parents' incomes. So you may not have to get the review. You may get old child support, or it may just be the same,
Mhm.
or no change, or whatever is happening. But yeah, it's like it's a fear.
Mhm.
It's already a fear. I don't want to get married because it's already a fear. So instead of people rallying, the community rallying, coming around and say, here's some things that you can do and some avenues you can look at. Here are some successful people over here,
Mhm.
successfully married or successfully divorced people over here that was going through it. You can talk to them, what have you. Like, here's the community that you can rally around. I think that is a huge proponent to it, because a lot of times when we get married, we hear, don't tell people what's going on in your marriage,
Mhm.
keep that to yourself. When you're having issues like this, who can you go and talk to? You have to keep it to yourself within the marriage.
Mhm.
People need help.
Right.
People need help. So having a community of people that that are married, may not be married, or are divorced, and they're still, no one went out and committed violence against one another, even though
Right.
you may have heard, like I heard it was really bad. Yeah, and here's what I did. We need more of those stories and more of those individuals to come around and say, hey, it's okay. It's hard right now, but it's going to be okay.
Mhm.
I think if we
I
had
think,
more of that, I think it
Mhm,
would help
Mhm.
a lot.
so I think, Jen, you had your statement was there, and I think when you
Mhm.
made your statement, I could relate, from your side, how
Mhm.
a woman would feel. And these are the kind of talks that are happening in barbershops.
Mm.
You,
Yeah, because we're not there.
I mean, when that conversation starts, I'm just giving you a little bit of what's happening. I can't tell you the whole thing, because if I did,
Mhm.
here we'll have another show altogether, and y'all get at me like
Okay.
crazy. So I'm just giving you a little bit of what is being said.
Mhm.
So um, we have those conversations. So when we had, this is workplace conversation, but it was only
Mhm.
men. Women are not
Mhm.
there. And I'm sure barbershops, they have those type of conversations. Now, are
Yeah.
they productive? I don't know. Maybe somebody who goes to a barbershop can explain to me. Maybe my barber, I may ask him the next time, and then he could probably share if things like that come in, because the barber is usually a counselor as well. So maybe that's where the support system comes for them to find out more
Mhm.
information. It's just that it's not being told. Like you say, the
Mhm.
barbershop is where everything goes. So yeah, the men have their own way of expressing themselves. I guess it's just some of them may get that information and it just doesn't work out right.
That, and it's not always, again, the support has to be there, because sometimes men don't always provide a safe space for other men to speak,
Hmm.
because they're not used to that. I've heard men say, "Well, I'm not used to hearing other men break down and share his feelings. I don't, that made me uncomfortable." Okay, so where can you go? You know.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I guess I just, kind of
Mhm.
cringe on, the cavalier nature of that you kind of threw that out there because
Mhm.
in a lot of these cases, not necessarily these three, but
Mhm.
just in the news, even here in St. Louis, there's two I can think of in my head. People have lost their life, over that whole, well, I'm not trying to get caught up on some child support, or oh, my child support gonna go up, or oh, she gonna
Mhm.
hit me with, so I don't think it's funny. You know what I mean? Like I don't like I really, I'm kind of like emotional about it
Mhm.
because people have lost their life at the
Mhm.
thought of, oh, my paper not gonna look right because you hit me for child support. So whether it's discussed in the barbershop or not, I just, it's kind of disgusting.
Mhm. I don't know.
That's just, me,
Mhm.
so,
Yep.
um,
I think it's what is being said,
Mhm.
what might be said at that conversation between the two of them to have that conversation that leads to, we're going to change that paper, the way you're going to receive that paper. I think that's where everything starts off. If that conversation would probably be a mutual conversation where somebody may come up and say, hey, you know what, yeah, we can do this and this and this, maybe help here, and then the person's not doing that, then you say, okay, since you're not helping, we'll go
Mhm.
by and do this. If that conversation is done with mature people, and remember we're saying mature people who have a sane mind, that's
mhm,
fine. We'll probably never even hear these things happening. Some people will be
mhm.
glad to go ahead and say, hey, you want a review, go ahead, or if
Mhm.
what's the problem, you need some more, I'll help
Mhm.
you out, you know but not
Or
everyone
if you
gets
really
to.
feel like you're getting the short end of the stick with your case, you can, fight it, legally,
Mhm.
right? Or dispute it, right? Like
Mhm.
there's got to be a formal, proper way to dispute, oh, I'm up for review. I want to dispute it based on X, Y, and Z. Or do you not have a case? And, your terms may have to change. I mean,
Mhm.
these things happen, but you can't just seek out revenge on somebody, like, but these are the things that are happening, we're seeing, and that's why
Right.
it's just kind of really
and every
sad.
and everybody respond and react differently.
Hmm.
They don't know. And like somebody said, a sane mind and emotionally intelligent mind, we don't always have the words to express.
Hmm.
I remember Shaq said something, don't ever tell a woman what you're going through because she'll throw it in your face. And it's like, well, dang, like not even your wife, like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are married. And so that is the closest, one of the closest that you can have. If I can't go to my spouse and that spouse can't come to me, I'm not saying every single thing because I can't relate to everything. But
Hmm.
with some of the things, like I need to trust you with this. It's like, man, why are we here?
Oh,
Why are we
oh boy.
here? So
Hmm.
We
there are some. I know there are some conversations that I may not be able to have with my spouse because they may not be able to relate, and vice versa, and that's fine, and that's normal, and
Hmm.
that's okay. However, but to be close with someone that you say you love and you validate a relationship, and you violate, throw it in their face and harm them, it's not safe at all.
Hmm.
It's not safe. But I see you shake your head. Somebody's over here like, nah, Denise. At
Denise,
times.
I'll plead the fifth on that one. So
Okay.
I got it.
um, I'm going to ask about this thing:
Hmm.
power, reputation,
Hmm.
public image, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
some of these issues we see that they are with they come
Especially.
with abusive relationships,
Yeah.
and especially, powerful individuals, they always
Hmm.
get that.
Hmm.
Who have a reputation to keep. Now these things are kind of pushed hush hush. And the public image.
Hmm.
I've seen sometimes when we have, even when we watch Love. up
Oh.
Oh, my bad. I was trying to take a
uh,
picture now.
and have this situation where
Mm-hmm.
their public image is put first. What is it going to be
Mm-hmm.
said?
Mhm, mhm,
Now, next is so the the violence is not, the intimate violence is not put first. It's put on the back burner before the public image.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak on that? How how does it affect most of these relationships and reporting on this abuse?
You have to, like, if you're in the public eye, you're very powerful. You know, you're ranked. You're powerful. So to have the police come out when something is happening, it's like I don't need that at my house. I don't want anybody to
mhm,
to look things up. Again, it's embarrassing. Like I can control the city over here,
mhm,
or maybe the state, or I can control this right here, but I don't have a handle on my relationship in the house. That's embarrassing. I'm
mhm,
not I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna be quiet. I don't want to lose the votes or the trust of the people, or etc. There's an image that I need to uphold, and I have to look strong, and I have to take it, and I have to keep this secret, and I have to keep it quiet.
mhm,
And so it's a disservice. So there's no support. There's no one for them to go to, or they don't want to just have to share that information to anyone
mhm.
at all. Maybe people don't want to come to therapy. What do they need a therapist for? Therapists don't work. It's not safe for me. I can't go to therapy because what is somebody gonna tell me? They got issues too.
Mm,
There's, again, that's that stigma. So
yeah.
there are some partners who don't like their partners being in the limelight. Let's say, for example, one of the ladies was a vice mayor, not sure what was going on within that relationship intimately. Miss Nancy, not sure if he was jealous, didn't like it, or what have, don't know what the situation was when they were together, when she was running, how supportive he was, or anything like that. And so you have some individuals who will get jealous because of the attention that's receiving, but it's a professional in a professional way, and maybe can't handle it or can't take it, and then there's what the people say, a crash out happens, and she's no longer with us. These ladies are no longer with us. They had a very huge public image and public following. She's no longer with us, and there's two
Right.
kids.
Mhm.
No longer here.
Yeah, I wonder about the case with Justin Fairfax. This is Cerina Fairfax,
Mm-hmm.
who lost her life, along with Justin Fairfax, who,
Mm-hmm.
eliminated himself after
Mm-hmm.
the act with the children in the home. He was a lieutenant governor. That's a really high, powerful position. So that question kind of, speaks to someone in his, role, very high profile type of person you know.
Absolutely. And to my understanding, I don't know if they were separated or divorced already, but they were still in the same house
Mhm.
because of maybe finances, or just because maybe it's expensive to
And I
live.
wonder, like, they probably had, in my mind, they may
Mm-hmm.
have had a comfortable lifestyle financially, but maybe because of the children's lifestyle, or,
Mm-hmm.
or their activities, and just trying to, maybe that's why they were still in the same household until everything got finalized.
Probably
Um,
so. There's a lot of people who are
yeah.
separated in the same house because, well, here in Florida, y'all, like, they don't raise the salary a lot, and you need three
Mhm.
times the rent, and they still want you to have a master's degree and paying you $17 an hour. I don't understand.
Right.
But you have to, let's say that situation like that, and now you're separated. You not what you not affording nothing.
And,
Yeah.
look,
You you
you guys are you guys look. Let's not be. Let's say the truth. People are house poor. You may have their
housework,
own house,
Okay.
and you have
seriously, and
all,
that's
and you're just one
one.
inch being, something just happens like that, you go down quickly. So
Yeah,
Right. That's
may
true.
find
That's
high
true.
yeah.
profile people are like, yeah, it's functioning, but it's functioning because credit and what have you. Now you're in this situation, and I think this is where I'm
Hmm.
just guessing. And when I look at myself, in my situation,
Hmm.
you look at the consequences. What do you got to lose?
Hmm.
There's money you're going to lose. There is your 401k is going to be split into half. I mean, hey, this is 401k. You probably are having it again.
Wait. You're
Because
saying, what am I going to lose if I am in a divorce?
yeah, in the divorce and something like that,
Okay.
and then now you're looking at the quality of life that you're going to have
Mhm.
after that, and all these things are happening in motion now. Again, emotional intelligence,
Mhm.
and what goes on, the conversation that is being had at that time. Maybe the person did something, and this is just speculation. Nothing is permanent here. We're just speculating. So maybe there's a cheating, infidelity involved, something to that matter, or just it just didn't work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now whatever is being built up, or whatever has been built up, and you look at, wow, all this I'm just gonna hand over to this, right? Maybe I don't know if I mind explaining this issue, but I'm talking
Mhm.
in a like on a side of a man. But
Mhm.
all that can make you now start looking and say, wow, this is all I'm going to lose. This is all I'm going to lose. I have this
Mhm.
house. I'll probably live in this. Then now the societal thingy, the power, and everything
Mhm.
else comes to
Mhm.
break down.
Right.
All that combined, and you don't have that emotional intelligence, or you don't have a community or people who will look out for you or talk to you and tell you, hey, you know what, it's going to be okay. These things do happen. There's a life.
Mhm.
You don't have that, hey, things just come crashing down, and this is what you
In your mind, there's nothing else. And sometimes individuals that you speak to will really speak, will continue to speak to that pain. They're not going to speak hope into your, offer that support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, all women like that. That's why I'll never get. I can't believe you did. And so it just, and
Mm-hmm.
so and that, so they're already feeling depressed. They're already
Mm-hmm.
angry. They'll have no way to bring it out. Health is probably going down. Very much in despair. You don't know what's happening, and no one is speaking the hope into you. They're
Mm-hmm.
just feeding, this because you're upset at this and you're upset, but you have someone that's really coming to you for help, and they're not getting that, and then they're gone. Like you said, we not don't have the emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
don't have the healthy support or community. We have the village. There's a village,
Mm-hmm.
but we need the people in the village to be educated and smart and have emotional intelligence, know some resources,
Mm-hmm.
be there to speak. We don't need everybody in the village talking despair and pain,
Right. Right.
destruction, doom, because here we are.
and Jen, I'd like you to bring back that one, the last picture you had, and let's speak on that, because I think this
Mm-hmm.
is one that, I mean, I personally cannot even go to the story. I don't want to
Uh,
get to that
mm-hmm.
sense of what happened. It's in the news, but I just skim off of things, because to me, I can't handle it. This was a case, we all know that the man got whatever happened. um, he went into the house, shot at the mother of the kids, then drove off to another house where the kids were there. Is it up to 8 kids? And I see. I can't even tell the whole story because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to follow it up. And shot the mother who was there, and the kids, and I think all of them didn't make it. There's a story that it's one of them
Mm-hmm.
made it. I thought all of them died. From what I understand, none of
Mm-hmm.
all 8 of them died. This was one of the hardest thing that happened this week, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Um, at what point are we going to, look into these issues and say enough is enough? How are we going to tackle it? Because now, my question as a parent, as a man, and somebody who has a sisters, how do we get here? How am I going to protect my own from something like this if I was in their shoes? That type of despair that I have right now, as
Mm-hmm.
a guy, not being able to do anything because the whole community was there. Somebody, to me, I sit down and I say, somebody must have known something was going down somewhere. It wasn't, if there was a fight, someone knew of the fight. If there was a gun, if there was a bullet being shot at, somebody knew something was happening. It didn't look right. How do we get to the point where he actually drove from one site to another site and then all this happened? You see,
Right.
that's my part where
It's
I'm
the
really,
speculation,
yeah.
and what
Yeah.
we can only imagine after he was at one place. Shot at
Mhm.
the one lady. Maybe everybody was over there trying to figure out, hey, well, not knowing, because when you're gonna do something, even when you take your own life, if you want help, you'll tell people. If you don't want help, you're not gonna tell anybody.
Mm.
So we may not know. So there may not always be signs to go and to stop something,
Right.
because
That's true.
you dad's hey dad, and that's the last thing you see.
Mhm.
That's the last thing you see.
Mhm.
May not always know. Again, education. So what everything that it looks like. Here's what it looked like. Here's what it could look like. Any question you have, and if you're not sure, ask. It's okay to talk to people when you're in a relationship. It's
Mhm.
okay to tell people that you trust your business and relationship if you're having an issue with it. It is absolutely okay to get some guidance and to get some support, from the community, from the village. Being somebody that you get somebody can come and speak to. If I got an issue, I'm gonna call Jen, or I'm gonna call Sambaza, and y'all gonna be okay and just listen to me and just hear me out and
Right.
support me as best as y'all can. Not throw it in my face or go back and gossip. And we absolutely have to always talk about domestic violence
Mhm.
all the time, not just when something happens. Because
Right.
the more we speak about it, the more we can do something about it. Stop victim blaming, because a lot of times
Mhm.
when people are leaving, that's when they're taken out the most.
Mm. Mhm.
File for divorce because I'm done. I get taken out because now they're losing power control over me. So now I'm gone. It's the most dangerous time.
Mhm.
The most dangerous time. Been separated, and here you come, gonna take me out.
Mhm.
The most dangerous time. Burning the house down with people inside the house.
Right.
The most dangerous time. There's so many things that
Right.
happens. And in the comments, I don't know why y'all women pick these men anyway. I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's like, what do you that we was leaving at the time? Oh, we didn't even know. There was no signs.
Right.
It's hard. Um,
It's very
I
hard.
want to throw back the other
Mm-hmm.
picture you had for the three women, please.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the other one, the last one on the extreme. It's
Ashlee
going to be
Jenae.
Ashlee Jenae, and
Mm-hmm.
this is one of those weird ones where we she's an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
You see her online, and she gets to be proposed to somewhere in Africa, and then they end up in
Zanzibar.
yeah no they were not in they were that's
You
where
went in
it happened.
Zanzibar?
But they were in
Mm-hmm.
Namibia. They were in Namibia or
Mm-hmm.
Angola because that's where those animals, those lions, are the white lions that have been tamed, and that's where she was proposed to. And that's the first thingy, and people are all happy about it. Then it ends, moves over to Zanzibar, where they hang out in Zanzibar, and I think a fight breaks out, allegedly, and they get moved over to their own rooms. They had to be
Yes.
separated.
Mm-hmm.
Then next time she's gone.
She's gone.
But you have this space of all these happy things happening, and it's mind-boggling to here we are now.
Mhm.
The other part becomes the issue of color happening, and now we get to the statistics that we have. But it happening on a different continent is what is also, you know uh, wary of the situation, especially when you're
Mhm.
going up to somebody you don't know, or we don't know what happened here. But there's that aspect of there was violence there, they were separated, then what happened?
Mhm.
That
Right.
And here you are, somebody's life is lost, and another man just walked away. And I
Mm-hmm.
think from what we heard, they even left the country and went back to their own home.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. It's been hard to see these incidents in the news. It's
Mhm.
been hard to talk about these incidents from other people, and they're looking at us
Mhm.
to come up with some solutions and
Right.
some answers, and
Right.
we don't always have any.
Definitely. I mean, I think you said, something powerful with, normalizing uh space where people can, share, whether it's, mom picking kids up, just talking about your day, what was a, we used to say in Girl Scouts, like, what was a rose about your day? What was a thorn? What
Mm.
was good, the bad, and just being making it normal to just talk about your feelings, so that if you do have a bad day, it doesn't escalate and fester into this nasty thing. So that when you really come into a challenging experience, maybe, you're a big breakup, sometimes a teenage breakup, they take it really hard.
Mhm.
People have dark feelings about those kinds of things, or maybe it's a mid, age divorce situation, and
Mhm.
those dark feelings, come about, like, I
A-
don't know. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. And again, especially with domestic violence, the
Mhm.
victim is always blamed.
Mhm.
The victims. I rarely see what was wrong with him. Why didn't anybody check him? What
Mhm.
happened to him? It was always they shouldn't have been in that situation. I don't know why y'all. It's just always something negative towards the victim. So why would I, if I'm a victim, why would I go and tell somebody I'm a victim when I'm going to be blamed?
Right.
And the number that we have, help is available.
Hmm.
To speak to someone today if you have any issues. The National Domestic Violence Hotline,
Hmm.
800-799-7233, or text begin with 88788. There's the chat, and there's also an official website for assistance. Now, if case goes too far, you can always call 911 for assistance, and start off from there, and then
Mm.
everything else goes on. Yeah. So yeah,
Sure.
it's really crazy. Um, I know we also had about that Nancy Metayer Bowen, the Haitian
Mhm.
American vice mayor, leader,
Hmm.
advocate, also lost to domestic violence in Florida. I think this is more like where power is involved. Power, and they have the stigma of
Hmm.
um,
Mhm.
of having to get around it. Now, how can we better support Black women, specifically given the cultural pressures, stigma, and
Mhm.
systemic gaps in protection?
Oh man. Um, Believe Black women when they come and say they need some help or support.
Mhm.
Black women have to go and ask for help and seek help. There's in our society, there's a strong Black woman, the angry Black woman, or whatever else the stereotypes are. I don't subscribe to the stereotypes. I
Mhm.
stopped subscribing to them. If that's how you see me, that's your problem, not mine. But I know that I have to go and ask for help. I know it's okay for me to go ahead and seek help and normalize going ahead and seeking help and sharing to go ahead and seek help, and just knowing what it looks like, what it sounds like, and what can happen if help isn't sought or if it becomes too much or too great. Like there are programs out here that individuals can contact to be to get out safely and things of that nature. But we definitely have to ask for help. We have to go and seek the help and not be afraid to do it. It doesn't matter how long you've been with somebody. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. Finances, like your health and your life and your safety is at stake. And if you have children, their lives are at stake as well. And we really have to be careful
Mhm.
to, the men that we're choosing, allow another man to vet him,
Mm. Okay.
meet his friends,
Mhm.
meet his family. See what's
Right.
allow another man to vet him. Let's go and get with healthy men in our families if we have that,
Mhm.
healthy men in the community if we have that, and say, hey, I have this guy that's interested in me. Anything I should look out for? What should I know?
Mhm.
We don't know everything. Women know women and men know men.
Yeah,
So
I'm telling you,
seek some assistance. Seek some assistance,
it's
please.
it's hard out here. It's hard out here. Now, the worst thing is, when stuff is happening,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing you can. There's not no help. Now, I'm gonna give you this. I've never told people about this, but
Mm-hmm.
I've already explained to it on another show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one of my sisters had a gender-based violence issue, and that was in Kenya. And I spoke so passionately about this, and I called, not I called, but I sent an email, two emails to, it's called FIDA, Federation of Women, something, and they are the powerful, with this thing, and they always talk about, oh, we're going to help all women, that talk. And I
Mm-hmm.
sent
Mhm.
emails, one to the town, and I went to send one to the head office. Do you know, up to date, this is over a year and a half, I have not
Mhm.
gotten a response from them. Now, the fear is,
Hmm.
now this is where I'm talking about an African living out abroad. I sent the
Mhm.
information from here, and I'm scared because if I send the information from here, they will not do anything about it because of the fact that I'm from the US. And maybe I
Mhm.
know more, or I don't know. I really don't understand how they did it, or how they took it, because I sent an appeal to them and told them, hey, this is what is happening. Can you help me?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Never heard from them. And it's
Mm-hmm.
and then the question is, are they looking at me for status? Because I'm here, status as being from America, trying to get
Mm-hmm.
on there, because the case was dire. It was back at home in the village, and this
Mm-hmm.
man actually accosted my sister. And I
Mhm.
remember on that particular day, I had to take her to the police station to
Mm-hmm.
have write a report on that, because more than not, they would, and this is where the problem comes in. They structure it around the people around the village, so they
Mhm.
talk about it in the village, and then they say, okay, fine, things go away and stuff like that. And I was like, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna have this. You're gonna come with me, and we're gonna go to the police station and write a
Mm-hmm.
report. And that did help, because the second time it happened, this time, and
Mhm.
by the way, it was even worse the second time. She went to the police station, and we were not looking at the first one. Now, it wasn't being reported the first time. No, this was the
Mm-hmm.
second time.
Mhm.
The person had been told not to do it and still went to do it. Then the police started come to look for him. But
Mm-hmm.
most of the
Mhm.
situations are to the point where they are not. Oh, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the situations are most of these situations are to the point where you are not you're not allowed to, you're not given that space to express yourself. And it's the woman thing, they're looking at it as saying, okay, you know what, it'll die down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, it's not going to happen. Now, if I had not intervened in that manner, and it was just by luck that I was there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
if I had not, things could have been different, way different than what it had
Mm-hmm.
been.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, in my situation, the way it's come around is that I had to be there in order for it to get to that point where we're going to be helped. Yeah.
And you reached out for help, and you didn't even receive an email back that says, "If this is happening, tell her to contact us." We received your email. Somebody be
Mhm.
reaching out. Nothing. So
Mhm.
That
do that program really exist over there? Like is y'all still in operation?
I, uh,
Help.
uh, I don't know, but it was one of those things that it really hurt, but it taught me something, a lot. It's you gotta fend for yourself. I don't know. Yeah.
A lot of times it's like that, and even a restraining order, an injunction, is
Mhm.
just a piece of paper.
Oh
Mhm.
no, we
Like
don't have that.
it's not
We
gonna
don't have.
stop. And if he is not served, he doesn't know about it.
Mhm.
He's not served. He doesn't
Right.
know about it. And if you're being stopped, you got to prove you're being stopped. Because it's like, what
Right.
happened? And it's the what did so, ma'am? What did you do? I said no. Like, what do you mean? What I did? I said
Mm.
no. I did what y'all said. I said no.
Mhm.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
And so then now we have to go ahead and protect ourselves and go ahead and get armed, take some self defense classes, have a
Mhm.
whole safety plan in place, and uh, take care of it ourselves.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It is necessary, and I look at it. I don't know, when I look at it on both ends, and
Hmm.
when I look at it on a bigger picture, and I say, thank God you can go and report to the police and say, hey, you know what, I need help, and they can actually come in and look into it. It may not work, but at least it's on record, and people are urged to go
There you
and
go.
Hmm.
stuff. When you call 911, they'll pick up the phone and come and assist you. Unlike what you get from a different country, from a developed country like Kenya, you know. I'm not. This is not to say that the women, hey, you are lucky to be here. That it's available.
Hmm.
No, but violence is violence. But there are other different ways people are experiencing the violence that need
Hmm.
help. Yeah, and it's time people looked at it as not in small communities, but in a bigger aspect that it is happening there, and
Hmm.
we should help each other and have a community and see how best we can move this this movement where the
Right.
women have to be taken care of. I mean, on a man's perspective, I mean the women are the ones who take care of the house, the ones who take care of the kids. I mean, carry the kids for you. Um, we gotta figure out how to save them.
And I want to
Yeah.
share that, reporting it, like you said,
Hmm.
is so important. It's giving you some of your power back.
Hmm.
This experience that people go through it has to do with power, that's taken from you. And
Hmm.
you get some of your power by reporting it, by exposing it. I
Hmm.
see videos of women who, maybe have been victim of maybe like revenge porn or something, like something shared that they didn't agree to, and
Hmm.
they take the embarrassment and power out of
That's
it
it.
by exposing that person who has done this thing to you. And I'm thinking, like, how brave is that, this embarrassing moment, and you stand up to that person, by maybe going live. I've seen girls do it on TikTok and things like that. And this person did this to me, but and you turn the tables. I love that idea of turning the tables. You can take your power back. This thing has was done to you, but you can take your power back you
Hmm.
know
And
Oh,
there are women who are abused by men in power.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
sometimes reporting it may not go anywhere in that specific area, and you may have
Okay.
to go to another area to report that.
Okay.
You may have to go to another area to report that so you're safe.
But, like you said, there's a stigma with reporting it. So we want to normalize reporting when you experience something. If you are lucky enough to make it out of that situation alive, we're talking about women who, are not here. They did not have that chance to report what is they were experiencing. But if you are, take that power and, report it. I think that's important. So,
Hmm. And don't ever think, oh, that don't ever think it won't happen to me,
mhm.
because you really
Mhm.
don't know the mind of another person.
Right.
You don't know
Definitely.
truly the mind of another
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. You share, believe black women. I think that's really
Hmm.
important too.
And we don't always have to be forgiving and then take the people
Mhm.
back and work on it. And again, so just know that these individuals have their PhD in manipulation, and just know that you get, some of us survive and some don't, and we want you
Right.
to be on the side that survive and is
Absolutely.
able to share your experiences so others can learn from that as well.
I know
Okay.
when you're talking about the issue of reporting, I always remember this incident where it
Hmm.
was in Dallas a while ago. There was this lady who was being carjacked, and it was violent. The guy was actually trying to kill her, and she was in a car. And this black police officer pulled up right next to her, and he had been in the police for a long time. Pulled up right next to her, and she said something to him, and he drove off. And people could not fathom how he was an experienced officer in the force for a while, and he just drove off. So, uh, story was, well, she was safe, but he lost his job
Hmm.
after that issue. But you're right. Now,
We're
report. Don't
Yeah, and a
trust.
lot of times we can't. Um, we've seen incidents. We've seen incidents where a woman was being, I think she was being sexually assaulted on a plane. I mean, not a plane, a train, and people were recording. No one was helping. It's
Mhm.
different from if you see a male and woman like in a verbal altercation, and he goes like, a lot of people are like, oh, that's your relationship. I'm not going to jump into it because previously I tried to help and I got beat up. And so a lot of people were in this mindset of I'm going to mind my business because when I would do something to try to help, I got cussed out, or I got ostracized. My business was out on Facebook, or you beat me up. So
Mhm.
why am I getting in somebody else's business?
Mm.
So you have that as well that's in the community, and so again, it makes it a little bit difficult. In those instances, I would say, hey, call if you know their family, call somebody family, and say, hey, you need to go on and talk to your nephew, your cousin, your sister. This is what I seen. Y'all need to go ahead and do something. Can y'all reach them?
Mm-hmm.
Can you
Mhm.
help?
Okay.
That's a
Can you
great
help?
idea. That's a great idea.
Can
Yeah.
you help?
Okay. I would
And
like to.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes,
No,
sir.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just gonna. I would like Denise to share how she
Hmm.
can be reached if people may
Oh,
be
absolutely.
in your area.
Yeah, yes. If you want to talk to me, if you need to reach me, I'll make sure my information is in the chat. But I am on social media platforms. I'm Heal Empower Release on TikTok and on YouTube. Also on Instagram and Facebook, I'm Grow Empower Transform Therapy. My email address is wellness@gettherapy.org. That's WELLNESS, the at symbol, GETTHERAPY.org. That is my website right there. Yes. And also my phone number is 813-563-8227. So if you need to contact me, go ahead and contact me.
Okay.
All different ways.
Grow, how
All
empower,
trans
transform therapy.
or get therapy for short.
Get therapy. Okay.
Absolutely. Just go ahead and get therapy. And so we will talk to you. Me and my colleagues, we're in the business to help. We're in the business to help you heal. Like it's more than just talking. Like we have all different types of modalities that we use. Like
Mhm.
we truly honestly want to help. We can't help you. We know somebody else that can help you.
That's
We
great.
want to help. We want you to heal. We want to change the generation. We don't want another generation to continue to experience these. We want it to be a healed generation. That's the goal.
That's what's up.
Okay, and I'm going to put that in the
Um,
That's
chat.
the
um,
goal.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I know we just want to have a moment of silence just for,
I think
all
Jen,
the victims that recently lost their lives, and then the families that's left behind
Mhm.
with no answers, and the friends that's left behind with no answers, and the community that is distraught over, something as egregious as these crimes that's been happening.
Okay.
all
Great.
right, let's take a moment of silence.
Mhm.
All right. Now, Jen, I think you can do the closing.
Yes. And we want to thank everyone that has joined us on this recording, and our guests, Miss Denise Moore.
Thank
We really appreciate you being here. And let me find my words. Okay. And hopefully
you.
that today's conversation has enlightened and inspired you. Um, Our collective awareness and advocacy play a crucial role in creating positive change. We invite you to stay tuned for more engaging content, and we look forward to continuing these important conversations in the future. So until next time, everyone be well, take care of each other, and take care.
Yes.
Bye bye.